Hello, everybody! It is Rocco, your boy, coming at you once again with another Age of Sigmar video. In this video, we are going to be doing a training arc video. And starting a new series here. Something that I came up with during my most recent What I'm Thankful For video for Thanksgiving. In that, well, I get asked a lot, Rocco, when you're making a new army up and you're trying to learn a new thing, how do you do it? Why? How were you able to play all these different armies and do all these things and get these reps in and understand the state of the game and all of that? And, well, I can make a series on that. That's easy. Then you come here, watch the videos, follow along, see how I do as I try to put these into practice, and even do some tournaments with them. Not just like going out and hanging out with my friends and playing games. Here we are. This is where this starts. Specifically, we're going to be doing the new Cities of Sigmar, my beloved faction that I used for competitive play. That is great. I love it. Got a whole bunch of new models that I'm in the process of building. I just finished doing my command corps. I'm honestly looking at building, see them in the box. Got a bunch of Fusiliers ready to go, a Pontifex, and, I'm going to be here to walk you through my process, because I have already actually made a list. Here we're using War Scroll Builder. It's the free tool from Games Workshop for list building. It's a bare bones kind of thing. You kind of have to know what the stuff is before you go out and put it in here. You could also use the app. I have a very good app for this for Age of Sigmar. But, in order for me to go out and be the tournament player that I have been consistently, with a lot of good wins and a positive win rate my whole career with that, we start with list building. As I've said in many of my How Do You Get Better videos, my masterclass lists, playlist is full of advice like this. And I actually take it, find where you get your rules, and it all starts at list building here. Now, specifically, too, in competitive play, we are looking for easy ways to score points, right? Because that's how the game is played. You look at the battle plans, you look at what you're going to be going against in your local meta. Really, the strong armies we see consistently doing well in tournament play are armies like Big Wa, where they have easily achievable battle tactics, so every turn they're scoring those 2 points, and then it's just stand on an objective, stand on one more objective than your opponent, and enjoy. They score you 5 points the turn, and you're happy. Now, in the new Cities of Sigmar book, we have several that are doable with the humans of Cities of Sigmar, which include Mount the Charge, which is control an objective with a friendly mounted unit that made a charge this turn, but any cav work, which is nice, and we'll see later what I'm going to throw in for cavalry. Raise the banner, pick one objective controlled by your opponent, complete this tactic if you control the objective at the end of this turn, with a free guild command corps. Doable. Bring full arms to bear, pick one enemy unit, complete this battle tactic if it is destroyed this turn, and was suppressed as a result of the suppressing fire order, which is neat and doable with human stuff. And we've got Fusiliers coming in hot. So I'm feeling good about my battle tactic selection here. That's going to already start flavoring some of what I want to do. I personally have always loved my Empire stuff. If you look back to things I did with Old Living City, it was Free Guild, Handgunners, and Crossbowmen. That was my shooting. I never ran Iron Drakes competitively. I told other people to do that with the bridge. I was one of the main voices of that online as being an extremely strong build. I never did it personally because I owned other stuff. And now my other stuff got revamped. It is really freaking good. So we're going to throw some of these in here. I'm also looking at grand strategies where there's banners held high. If you have more totems, that used to be like a hammer hall ability, which is a little sad. It got moved to a grand strategy. And a lot of these grand strategies to me are more narrative focused or just really hard to do. And for competitive play, my job is to make this list work as easy as possible so that there's so few moving parts, it cannot fail. Alright? I need this list to be as close to dice proof as possible. That means that as many decisions as I can make without having to roll dice or without having to roll high on dice, the better. This is where a lot of consistency comes in. You're going to be looking to put in as many pluses to hit. I'm messing with my opponent's consistency by throwing in minuses to hit or wound me. That kind of a thing. You know, that's around where we're looking here. And also looking at battle tactics and how I'm scoring points. I'm going to go for more of a shooting castle kind of build. So first, I'm going to need my Alchemite Warforger, who's going to be my general. Alright? This is going to help because we're going to go for the grand strategy Spellcasting Savant. Keep the general, that is the Spellcasting Savant, alive. And we are also going to go Hallowheart. We get very good casting bonuses in Hallowheart. It'll be 3d6. If I roll a 10 or higher, I take mortal wounds on my wizard that did that, but I have a way to deal with that. You'll see. For the spell, I'm honestly fine with the spell Transmutation of Lead. It's what the Warforger comes with if you're selecting a spell and you're not doing like Blizzard. For my command trait, again, we're going to be focusing around shooting here. We're going to go Master of Ballistics for +1 to wound when we do the all-out attack. And we, as much as I would very much like to do some other artifacts, I'm going to stick with the Magnificent Macroscope for the extra range on my guns. Alright. I want a Battle Mage. The trinket is going to be the Realm Store Orb for the extra range. The spell I'm going to take is Pall of Doom to interrupt my opponent's ability to issue and receive commands. It's going to be huge, especially in a mirror match. This can turn off Unleash Hells. This could turn off Catacross, issuing command to the army, and I don't have to get up close and worry about turning it off in melee. Again, I know Osiric Bone Reapers are very popular. Everybody benefits from commands. I know there's Iron Jaws out there with a Mega Boss looking to go and issue 3 commands at once. This is my way to stop that and protect myself with Pall of Doom. Alright. Next, we need the Pontifex. Zenestra. She's amazing. And we own her. She's in this box. One of my next building projects. I love the model and the fact that her rules are amazing. The 5-up ward is fantastic. Then, let's just start looking at some units here. You know, Corsairs are amazing screens. I don't have any. Unfortunately, I do own a bunch of Blackguard, though. So we want to reinforce a unit of that. What pairs with that is the Sorceress. 100 points. Boom, we've got our first combo. It's great, but we don't have any battle line. Because we're not making the Sorceress the general. And we do have an option of swapping out the Macroscope for, say... where are you? Here, we have access to an artifact called the Anklet of Epiphany, which would give her extra range on her spells, which is nice. She has a spell for -1 to hit on an enemy unit. Could be an option as we go and see things. Honestly, at this point, I just like having the extra range to shoot at people. Also, I need to have certain heroes to go out and give units. I need human heroes to give out human orders to human units, and then she's an elf to give elf orders or generic orders to elf units. So we need to keep that in mind, that I have enough heroes here to do what I need to do throughout the course of a game. Now we do need battle line, and we have 2 units of steel helms. I love them. They're just durable enough. We also are throwing in a command core. I didn't build that for nothing. They're really cool models. We do have Cav, but I'm going to hold off on that. We're going to see what the points are like here. I am going to take a unit of Wild Corpse Hunters, which are going to be made battle line from the Steel Helms, because they are a conditional battle line, even though this doesn't show it. How you check that, you go to page 159 on your battle tome, or, look at the pitch battle profile, so it'll say it on the notes there. And these Wild Corpse Hunters, for each unit of Free Guild Steel Helms included in this army, 1 unit of Wild Corpse Hunters can be included in the army as a battle line unit. So there's our 3 battle line right there. We're done. We're happy. Great. I wish there was a way on here to just click that on, but that's fine. Next, what are we looking at for points here? All right, we've got 1280. All right, we can get a little saucy. Now let's go find some Fusiliers. So I'm only gonna rock 20 so far. I'm partially worried because of points increasing on this army, and I have something else I want to do with the remaining 380 points. 20 Fusiliers is 42 shots. 6s to hit will be doing a mortal wound in addition to damage. They'll be -1 Ren, 1 damage. I will have them at 3s and 3s for my +1 to hit and wound. And listen, if someone uses a Be'lakor buff on them, that's fine. That means my Blackguard that have this lovely spell, Tenumbril Blades. And let me tell you about Tenumbril Blades. It is amazing. I put it on one of my units of elves, and they act as if the enemy doesn't have an armor save. Armor save of dash. In that case, they just stab right through. Their damage is basically mortal wounds. They are horrifically scary. They've got a 4-up ward when near the sorceress. Blackguard, for me, are going to take the heat. And I'm also using, really, it's my old Phoenix Guard models. It's a weird thing with the Cities book in that old units got cut, but they're like, yeah, just use them as the elf war scroll. If we just call this Elven Guard, or Elven Halberdiers, I would feel a little bit better. But it's one thing that with the Cities book, if we got rid of the Darkling Coven's name and just said City Elves, and we just went with that, I would appreciate it. But again, that's a nitpick. So we've got a really great anvil and a hammer in the Blackguard, anvils in the steel helms to hold objectives, a command corps to revive. Because here's the thing. What the Free Guild Command Corps does is I've got in there one of its little models. I pick 3 different units. Each unit heals D3 wounds or returns D3 single wound models. That's amazing. Currently, the FAQ stands you could stack it. I do not think that will last because that is too good. It may stay. And you could stack it. Currently, it stacks. That means that if I lose 9 Fusiliers and then on the end of my hero phase, they're in range to get that buff, I can go and put 3 D3 Fusiliers back on the table, and life is good. The important thing, though, with this command corps is that it affects the end of the hero phase. It turns on, right? That means after my Warforger and Battle Mage and Sorceress blow themselves up doing spells, I can heal them up and keep them alive. And life is good. The Warforger comes with a War Scroll spell to do the Mortal Wounds for human units that are in range of its aura, which is great. And, I've got one good melee hammer. The Wild Corpse Hunters are a little bit of melee and a little bit of shooting, which is nice. They'll be on par with Fusilier shooting, and they'll be affected by the Mortal Wound aura, which is great. The Freeguild Command Corps can fight, but you're going, Rocco, why don't you have a Griffin in here? Why don't you have something else to really give some melee punch? You could go a Smash Griffin, which is a Griffin that also would have the artifact here, the Sigmarite Warhammer, which does +1 to its rend and damage on one weapon profile you give it to. You give it to the rider with a lance, which is how mine is kitted out in real life. The thing is, there's a wonderful combo that's been going around the internet. I've loved it. It's the first thing since I saw the frickin' Sylvaneth box. We're going to go add an ally, because again, I may not be playing Living City as my sub-faction anymore, because it doesn't do anything for my units. But dipping into the Sylvaneth here, we have the beautiful Belthanos First Thorn of Kurnoth, who has an amazing ability to go and change a piece of terrain to be whatever you want for like mystical, arcane, whatever. And it fights as good as a Stonehorn, which is amazing. The thing is, if you can make terrain mystical and give Pontifex Zenestra a +1 to praying, all of a sudden she's getting her prayers off on a 2-up instead of a 3-up, and the math becomes amazing, and you will almost always have your 5-up ward save for your humans. Belthanos comes with a 5-up ward. So this is where we're feeling here. Now, the question next is, do we go for a 2-drop? How do we go about this? So what I think I'm going to do, looking at my battalions, because my points now, again, we're 20 under. We can maybe get a triumph. Let's go Inspired for Battle Shock Immunity. Right. Nah, screw it. Let's reroll those charges, baby! Inspired was +1 to wound. Let's go Bloodthirsty. And we're going to go the Acolytes Battalion, and we're going to go a Battle Regiment. So, here's my thinking. We're going to throw the General and the Battle Mage into the Acolytes Battalion to try to generate extra dice for Primal Dice to make sure we always get our spells off. Pall of Doom is a huge debuff to the enemy. The Mortal Wound spell on the Warforger is key for this list to work. Tenumbral Blades is fantastic. Alright, then we're going to go Battle Regiment, Battle Regiment, and Battle Regiment. There is a world that we put the Sorceress in the Andorian Acolytes Battalion. There's a world for that. Because just having the extra mage would be nice. There's also a world we don't take this and we go like Warlord to get an extra spell on everybody. To go and get like Blizzard and different things. Or we go for an extra artifact. We don't know if we're living in that world yet because we still need to test this list. This is just gut feelings where we are right now. Alright? And then we're going to go and put you in the Battle Regiment, you in the Battle Regiment, you in the Battle Regiment, you in the Battle Regiment. That's 4 out of our 5 units, and we're going to put the Fusiliers in the Battle Regiment. Now here's why. The Wild Corpse Hunters have a pre-game move. So what I'm going to do is have them be one of my last drops or one of my first drops, depending on my plan. You know? Because here's the thing. For my deployment, I like hiding my casters so that they're later. I'd rather have my opponent outdrop me so then I can see where I could hide my casters to be outside of unbind range, or if they have some kind of a plan, make me go second. I can mess with that. That's on them. That's their own problem. Make them stress about that. Um, why I'm okay with a sorceress being in the battle regiment, so my opponent sees my 1-drop with a blackguard, is the blackguard is a big footprint of 20 models on the table, and they know the sorceress is going to have to get deployed near them anyway. So why do I care about hiding that? They know what I'm going to do. I might as well just do it. And I can go and counter deploy the Wild Corpse Hunters to either be a forward screen or, because humans don't necessarily move quickly. They move 5 inches. If there's an objective off to the side that I need them to be at because deployments are weird, I can go and save them so my opponent doesn't know if I'm going to do a forward screen and then pressure them or throw them off to the side so they can easily take an objective on my turn and then contribute through shooting still. It's what I used to do with my Shadow Warriors as well. They fill a similar niche here from the old book. And with this list, we are going to be, I believe, 4 drops, 127 wounds. Because we're going to have the 2 in the... It cleared our battle line. We are going to have a legal list, which will look something like this and be 4 drops. There we go. We got there. So, what does this mean? I've got plenty of screens. I've got really good, consistent damage. And I am a bit more mobile. Belthanos being cavalry allows me to do that battle tactic. And he has the ability to run and charge and affect the area. I can have always strikes first with the blackguard. So I could have functionally 2 of my units fighting as one activation like I'm Lumineth Realm Lords. And I have a command corps to help deny an order coming out a turn. I've got lovely, lovely Pall of Doom. And if this doesn't work after a couple games, I have other options to switch around with. If points go up even more, because, mind you, at this point, the Fusiliers went up in points before they came out of my box, before I got to build them, and I was using handgunners as proxies. What we could do is drop Belthanos, put in the Griffin, and then adjust points-wise from there. Maybe I don't run a Dark Elf contingent, and I get more Fusiliers. We have options, but this is going to be our base list for the start of our series. And let's see what we can do with this for a few games, huh? I'll report back next time. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you like the video. Drop a comment if you want to, cheer me on to see how I come back. Don't call it a comeback. I've always been here. Come on now. Believe in me. I believe in you. You believe in me, chat, all right? We'll catch you next time. Be nice. Roll some dice. And see ya. Bye.